why do we not critically think that qira'at are just mistakes? Allah. So qira'at have different meanings sometimes.
We have a hadith narrated by the Prophet, peace be upon him, where he says that there are 7 modes revealed by Allah. That's it.
Eh.
Farid, why are you deceiving your poor and gullible Muslim audience? Why do you translate the word ahruf to modes? Ahruf in the Arabic language means simply letters. Harf is the singular form, a letter.
So I think that's a better translation. Eh.
So why is Farid calling the ahruf modes while the scholars disagreed on the meaning of the ahruf? Here is the book of Imam al-Suyuti called Al-Ithqan fi Ulum al-Quran. On page 105 we can read that the scholars differed on the meaning of the 7 ahruf, and they gave 40 different sayings or explanations for what these 7 ahruf could have meant.
Okay. Eh.
Because the Prophet of Islam, notice, the Prophet of Islam did not explain what the 7 ahruf were. Farid, like ya Farid, did you just cherry pick one of the 40 different aqwal or sayings?
Eh.
So these scholars gave you 40 different sayings, man. So why are you choosing one of the 40? And why do you Muslims falsely translate the word ahruf or the singular form harf to styles or modes, while the scholars differed and gave 40 personal explanations for what the 7 ahruf could have meant? That's what we call cherry picking one of the 40 flavors. So Farid, like ya kadhab, aib ya kadhab, stop deceiving these poor victims who are watching your videos. They don't know much about Islam, or let alone about the 7 ahruf.
Eh. Like, subhanAllah, this is something that we need to focus on in our da'wah. In our da'wah, we're supposed to tell people, like, don't think this is a shubha. Don't think this is an argument that is like used against Islam. Muslims are supposed to say, yo, check it out, 7 ahruf. Is there anything like this? Look at these meanings, how they're complementary and how they add to the meaning of the text. Eh. Sam'een says, one difference is king versus owner. Yes, you're correct. Those are different meanings. And let me tell you why. I'll tell you what's so interesting about king versus owner. Because you'd say, like, what's the point? Like, what's, what are we gaining from this idea of king versus owner? And subhanAllah, every time you find a difference in meaning, you'll find some amazing reason behind it when talking about king versus owner. An owner is, of course, someone that owns something, but they're not necessarily in a very high position, right? But a king is always in a high position. But sometimes the king doesn't have like full control, even though an owner has full control of what they're controlling. But if it's king and owner, then it's someone of a high position that has full control. I enjoyed that one. Look at these meanings, how they're complementary and how they add to the meaning of the text.
You almost solved the problem, yeah, Farid. But my dear friend Farid here, again, just forgot to mention and explain to his gullible, ignorant Muslim audience that early Muslims did not accept the different qira'at or readings as something complementary, but actually quite the opposite. Early Muslims, like Imam al-Tabari, used to reject certain qira'at and chose the readings that made more sense for them. They applied their logic and chose the qira'at that made more sense to them. So what do you mean by complementary, ya Farid? You know this very well, ya Farid, but why are you not mentioning this to your gullible Muslim audience who will accept anything you say? Abu Ja'far, aka Imam al-Tabari himself, explained in his tafsir for Surah Al-Fatiha verse 4 that Maliki or king is the more correct reading and not Maliki, which means owner. Oh boy, are you trying to say that you know more than the early Muslims, ya Farid? You know more than the scholar, the Imam At-Tabari, ya Farid. Hey, remember, without lies, Islam dies.
Okay.
I rest my case.